Welcome to the podcast, the Cauldron of Curiosities. Today we're going to be talking about another coaching subject, and this is one around rewards. And one of my questions for you as a listener is, do you reward yourself? And this isn't about the subconscious rewards, but I'm sure if you spent some time journaling, you may find yourself rewarding yourself, saying things like, oh, I'm going to have a treat. I might buy myself some chocolate as a treat for something that you've done well. You've had a good session at the gym, and you may have done something as a result of having gone to the gym. But do you consciously set aside money, time, or activities that you reward yourself with for reaching your goals? Do you tell yourself you've done a good job? I had a discussion with one of my coachees around rewards. Now, the first person that I did this with, I said to her, so how do you like to reward yourself? And interestingly, with this young lady, she liked to reward herself with buying makeup, but it was expensive makeup. So she felt that she needed to achieve quite high targets to buy the makeup that she felt was a good reward. So we actually did take it back to, okay, so how much do you think achieving each of these targets is worth? And should we break it up into units of 10? So you have to do 10 of those activities to get yourself, say, the lipstick that you want. And you work it out like you would do when you did a chart on the fridge. If you had children who had a reward, you could do that. Now, some people might say, oh, that's really basic, or that's bribery. Yes, it is bribery. But we all like to be acknowledged, and it is well worth acknowledging ourselves. So when we've done a thing that maybe we've been struggling with, or we've been procrastinating around, putting it off because we think it's going to be really difficult, how could we encourage ourselves to do that? Now, a reward for you maybe to go and have a pedicure or do a pedicure yourself. You may say, I'm going to reward myself with an hour's reading of one of my favourite books, or I might spend some time playing a game, because the choice of reward is all about you and what you want to do to make yourself feel good. Some people even give themselves gold stars because it helps motivate them, or they may have boards where they put things on the board that remind them of the things that they would really like. Going back to how we can use this with children, one of the things that I used to find with my sons is they like to have a reward, say Lego, for example, but Lego was a reasonable price. And this is where we would break it down into the units so that they could work their way towards having the Lego, or a DVD, which I used to place on top of the fridge so they could actually see the reward that they were going to get when they had scored enough points. And we would negotiate how much these items were worth points-wise. So this wasn't about me saying, oh, the DVD is going to be 100 points. They would have a discussion with me around what they thought the DVD was worth to them, and then we would then work out the point system. So they felt they were engaged with that process. So what do you do? How do you engage the process of rewarding yourself? One of my students, I spoke to her about rewards, and I said to her, so what do you do? Do you go out and have coffee and cake, or do you buy yourself a bar of chocolate? And she said, actually, what I would like to give myself as a reward are these particular art pens. So they were a type of pen that she liked to use for her drawing, but they weren't very cheap, and so they were a treat. So they weren't something that she could go out and buy any day that she wanted to. So they were something that she would have to set aside a little bit of money for. And she used that as her motivation, was to buy these pens as a reward for her achieving the things that she needed a little bit of support with. Now, we all know that there are individuals who like to have human support, and you might want to have a meeting with a friend as a reward, or maybe you need to hear words of encouragement. And some people find putting up affirmations or post-it notes can help shiver you along or motivate you to do the things that you've always wanted to do. And I suppose that also ties in with creating a mood board that's realistic. So have a mood board with the things that you would like to achieve on it that are part of your to-do list. And that might help you visualize where you want to be and what the final destination might look like. So that could be something that you might want to do. And then when you've reached that point where the mood board has been achieved, you could either create a new one or you could try something new. But do tell me what you think, and if you think your reward system is unique, or do you find that reward systems just don't work for you because you've never rewarded yourself? I'd be interested to find out what some of you might choose as a reward. And yes, it does go back to that behavioural theory, Pavlov's dogs, where he would ring the bell and give them food, and then he realised that he could ring the bell and not give them food, and the dogs would still salivate because there was that expectation. So we can sort of train ourselves with our behaviour, because it's part of the way that our animal behaviours will work. So the theory psychologically is that it will work if you give it a go. So I would like to hear from you if you maybe were a bit suspicious of doing it, but gave it a go and actually said, yeah, this worked for me. So do comment, or you can email me, info@thedandelionmoon.co.uk, if you have tried it and found that it was successful for you. Because we have to admit that the use of rewards is used in schools with their star systems, or if they give children golden time. Not everybody works well with that. But I have a short story about my youngest son. They had golden time at the school that he was at when he was quite young, and he worked out that he didn't have to behave himself on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, because he was able to accumulate enough good behaviour on a Thursday to get some golden time on a Friday that was sufficient for what he wanted to do. So he found a way around the system. So if you're the type of person who likes to find a way around the system, then maybe use your own skills to find a reward system that works for you, that you're not going to try and break it and say, well, I don't want to do that. And if you have listened to my procrastination chat, you will know that sometimes we will sit there and not like the rules that we've self-imposed. So don't be too draconian with yourself. If there's something and you feel yourself chafing at the bit and saying, I don't want to do this, then change it. There's nobody saying you have to do it. It's just an idea of thinking about, how can I help myself reach the rewards or do the things that I really want to do? And how can I make life easier for myself? Because that's actually one of the things that we could do, couldn't we? We could look at, how can I make life easier for myself Why do I need to make life a struggle? If it doesn't need to be done that way, if it can be done an easier way and it's not harming anyone, why shouldn't you do it that way? Sometimes people can make things really difficult for themselves unnecessarily. And I think we can work on things, we can work on the way that we do things, which is one of the beauties of coaching, is to look at, is there another way of doing it that resonates with you and makes you feel like you're achieving something? It isn't about being productive, it's about making life work for you. So if you do want to have a chat around that, I'm always happy to speak to coachees on a one-to-one basis. We can do that over Zoom, or I'm on the road, so I'm happy to meet up with people on my travels. And you can contact me at info@thedandelionmoon.co.uk. Have a marvellous magical day. Thank you for listening to the podcast today. This is the Cauldron of Curiosities, signing out. If you would like to make any comments, please comment below on the podcast, or you can contact me via direct message or email info@thedandelionmoon.co.uk. I look forward to chatting with you again. All of the podcasts that I release are published on a regular basis, and the weekly publications come out on a Thursday. And if you have any questions about any of the content matter, please let me know, and I look forward to hearing any topic suggestions.